So in this video here, we're going to look at the TaylorMade new range of GAPR clubs here. We've got the GAPR High, GAPR Mid and GAPR Low. So these have been introduced to fill gaps between your longest iron and your shortest metal wood, basically, and is to fill the gap. 3 different models to aim at 3 different ball flights. So let's go and look at these in more detail, give them a good review from my honest opinion and see how these GAPR clubs perform. So just before we jump into the video, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Hit that MNG logo on the bottom right hand screen there and also hit the bell icon to get notifications. Any future videos that land on my channel, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. If you're liking the video, hit the like button and obviously share it around with your friends. Okay, so we've got the GAPR range here from TaylorMade, brand new out, and all these are adjustable here. We've got GAPR High, GAPR Mid, GAPR Low. So all these are aiming at different sort of ball flights here. So I'm going to start off with a GAPR High to start with, which is a bit more like your traditional hybrid shape of head, slightly larger footprint here. It's got like a sort of a bit of a section taken out the top of the crown here. That's sunk down a little bit there. I'm guessing that's trying to get CG as lower in the head as possible here. Weighted screw at the back here, which is obviously fixed, which is towards the back of the sole here. Again, pulling CG down and away from the face to try and get that ball flight to be as high as it possibly can, I'm guessing. I've got a number 4 here, which is 22 degree, and again this is adjustable, so it can go up or down up to 1 degree either way here. So which is quite nice. Quite like this fine tuning that you can do with lofts. Again, all about getting the right gap in through your set to hit the right sort of numbers. As standard, these come in graphite shafts. Okay, I've got these in stiff, so we're going to hit the GAPR High to start with, which is 22 degree, and we'll just see how this comes out. I mean, as I put that down by the golf ball there, it sits lovely. It's like a matte black sort of finish there, black face. Just got that one white bottom groove there, which again is great for alignment. Yeah, wow, that goes high. Okay, absolutely no issues. Just push that up the right there, but absolutely no issues of getting that in the air. That goes really high. So I'm guessing this will be a very popular option for a lot of golfers here who maybe just struggle to hit that or flight that longer club in the golf bag. So this will be a lot easier hitting out of that rough, you know, getting that higher ball flight, stopping this quicker on the green. I'll just turn that over a little bit there. So it's the only concern with me and hybrids, me personally, I'm not a great fan of the hybrid style of sort of heads because it always feels like I can turn this over and miss that a little bit less. So see, I've held one off up the right hand side there and then just turn that second one over. Okay, that was a touch lower in the face, but that's still got up and away really nicely. So really sort of forgiving, it feels very forgiving there. Feels very solid off the club face. These are all filled with that speed foam that we've seen TaylorMade introduce in the P790 irons. We've seen it into that P790 UD iron, now into the GAPRs here. Gives you that sort of solid sort of feel there. It's not that hollow, loud sort of sound that sometimes you get maybe with a hybrid sort of club. So a little bit more muted, sort of really nice sort of feel off that, to be honest. Right, okay, so let's jump into the GAPR Mid here now. So this is obviously the middle one of the 3 options here. So obviously, as its name, aiming more of that mid ball flight here. So head shape's changing here. It's getting more of an iron look here, but obviously with a chunky back section to it. So we see still quite a bit hanging out of the back of the golf club here, but that sort of leading edge, or the top edge should I say, and the club face is more of an iron appearance. So to me, straight away, this is a bit more suitable to my eye anyway, and it looks to be very, very sort of forgiving here. You know, you can see that back section here, so you know it does give you that feel of you've got a lot of forgiveness behind it. We still see that weighted screw on the sole here, so again it's not as deep from front to back on the sole, so this weighted screw is coming more towards the club face here, and obviously with the head being a little bit more compact from front to back, this is going to, you know, as I say, guess I'm going to give you a slightly lower ball flight here. I've got this in a number 3, which is 18 degrees of loft. Okay, again, these come in different loft options depending on what you want to sort of fill in your bag. So we'll get this first one hit here with a GAPR Mid. Oh yeah, okay, so that's visibly lower there, but feels a lot more powerful off the club face here. So I'm seeing a bit more of a ball flight that's coming out a bit more that way. I know there's a bit of a loft difference here between these golf clubs here, so obviously we're going to see some differences of launch and spin and ball speed, but as a visual, much better on the flight for me personally. Feels really forgiving as well. Let's do another hit. Yeah, so that was low in the face there, and that's done really well. Lower than that first flight there, but it's still done really, really well. That was really solid. Yeah, again, it's still plenty of height on that, but feels really, really solid. That's carrying out about that 230 mark there. Yeah, 228 carry there, and that's spun around sort of 3,700 as a spin number. Okay, so there's a GAPR mid. So again, that's a bit more pleasing to my eye. I see a little bit more of that forward flight there, which I sort of prefer. But let's move into the GAPR low. Okay, so GAPR low in our hands here now. So this is one I'm really sort of excited to have a little look at. I've got the P790 UDI, which I absolutely love. So it'll be interesting to see how this performs against that. Maybe a separate video doing a head-to-head specifically for that review there. But straight away, as I put that down by that golf ball, much more pleasing to my eye. So a lot more compact here in terms of heel to sort of toe, but also from face to back. We're still seeing a bit hanging off the back of the club there at the back. So I think visually, compared to my P790 UDI, there's a little bit more of a chunky look here, but does look like it's going to give more of a very, much more penetrating ball flight. We now lose the screw from the sole here, but it's just positioned in the back section of the golf club. Still that little bit of scooped out section, but we lose that alignment aid that we see in the mid and the high. Still adjustable again, as with the other two here. So this is, I really enjoy that because that feels like I can really sort of manipulate this. So this is a number 2 here, which is 17 degree, but obviously I've got options to drop that to a 16 degree if I wanted to, which again, I think is a great option for, playing those windy golf courses where you just want to get that ball flight sort of down. So I'm expecting to see this come out pretty low and pretty powerful here. Let's give this first one a hit. Oh, I struck that lovely. Okay, so that's not mega low, but it's definitely a penetrating ball flight. That carried out, yeah, 230 on the carry there. And that spun 3.7 there, so a little bit higher on that spin for that particular shot. Let's give another one a hit. Now I must admit, I'm not firing all 4 cylinders. I've got a little bit of a neck injury here. I've just tweaked one of the muscles in my neck here, so I'm just not feel like I'm swinging it 100% here. So maybe speed's just off a little bit, maybe timing's just off a touch here, but it is what it is. Let's get a second one hit with the GAPR low. Okay, that was a bit heely. It's come out great though. Definitely low ball flight there. Didn't get all of that, and I felt that. It didn't feel as forgiving as the others, but it's done all right at 220 carry there. Yeah, spin's got up a tiny bit there. So these aren't exactly spec'd up to me. These are stiff flex. I'd probably go into X in these for me personally. But I think that definitely isn't as forgiving as the other two. Definitely feel, well, you can definitely, it's more noticeable when you miss that centre strike there with a feel you get up through the club. Yeah, I've ripped that one. I love that ball flight. That's more suited to my eye there. This is where I've been really interested to see how this pitches up against P790. Obviously that's only been out a few months, and it was a limited edition. It came and it went pretty quick. Obviously then GAPR's come out, so it'll be interesting to see how this pitches up against that. Okay, so there's a few shots hit with the GAPR low. Let's look at some numbers, a little bit more detail between that low, mid and high. Okay, so first of all, just maybe want to look at shot dispersion. Puts a ring round all the shots here, so you see GAPR high in the blue. Quite a big ring there. That Porsche had the turnover there. Struggled to maybe control the shot direction with the hybrid style of golf club. Moved into GAPR mid, which was the red ring. You can see much tighter there, a little bit more straighter, which is obviously better. And then obviously the GAPR low there in the white ring there, obviously a lot tighter, and actually created a little bit more of a fade bias ball flight to there, which I don't mind at all in terms of the GAPR low. Okay, so moving into the numbers here, see GAPR high, mid and low there. So Obviously, we've got different lofts here, so it's hard to sort of compare exactly with the two. So we're going to see some obviously clear differences here between the high, the middle, and low with the loft differences. But 30.8, 11.8, 10.8 on the launch is there. Spin numbers quite surprising. Obviously, gap high, you can see quite a high spin as you'd expect there. A lot of loft, CG's pulled back. GAPR mid there drops to 3.6, but then GAPR low just shot up to 3.8 there. So again, these aren't 100% fine-tuned for me spec-wise, but maybe expected that to be a little bit lower on that bore flat. I'd probably like to see that more around that 3,000 mark personally. Again, the shaft option will probably change that more than anything there. Carry 212, 225, 224. Okay, so yeah, but I mean, looking at peak height there, which is the one to sort of look at really, see 37 there with the GAPR high, 31 and 30 with the low. Right, okay guys, so there we go. There's the GAPR range there with the mid, high and low. So for me, I think the lovely golf clubs there, they feel really good. I think that speed foam, as we're seeing the P790 irons, as well as the UDI, we get that really nice sound, that nice sort of feel as it comes off the club face, more of that muted sort of sound, which personally I really enjoy. I think the look of these are really good, and that's blacked out sort of finish, very sort of appealing. Again, some will like that, some won't. I love the fact they're all adjustable, so you can really fine tune the lofts here depending on your shot shape and also the gap that you're trying to sort of fill really. So there's a lot of options here with the adjustability and obviously the 3 different heads there. Obviously you've got shafts and flexes and stuff. So again, the importance of going and get fitted is key here. But I think there's a lot of options here really to fill that sort of different level of golfer, from that obviously low handicap there to the high handicap. We've got one for everybody in these GAPR range here. So really solid sort of range here. It is a premium price point. I don't know the exact prices, but I think they're going to be around the sort of 250, 260 sort of mark here. So they are a premium price. You know, again, that's up to you guys really to decide whether it's worth paying that sort of much money for them. But yeah, GAPR range, really impressive. So let me know your comments down below in terms of the GAPR range, and maybe which one you might sort of slot into there. I'll probably do some more videos a little bit more in depth against maybe other sort of long irons on the market from other brands, and maybe see how they pitch up against the other options out there. But yeah, really impressed with the GAPR range there. I really like the sort of look and the feel of those. Okay, thanks so much for watching, guys. Obviously, again, appreciate you watching the videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.